All right.
Go!
Neutral button. No warrior now.
This part.
Microphone check 1 2. What is this?
You guys want to get right in the album of the year?
I'm down.
Most of these shows place album of the year at the end so you guys can listen all the way through. Here at the JBP, we don't really operate like that. I want to get to the fighting early.
Let's do it.
I have my
And I
pick
hate
for
list
album
season,
of the year.
but let's do it. We're breaking them up though?
You could-
Hip hop, R&B?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would rather do that.
Yeah.
Where's Bad Bunny fall? Is he hip hop or R&B?
Like, I love Boldy James and I love Kehlani. I just don't know how to put them head to head.
They shouldn't go head to head.
Let's separate them.
Rap, let's do rap.
Let's do it.
Rap albums of the year. Unfortunately, I have a list in my hand of the rap albums that have dropped. I don't think it's been such a memorable year creatively. Because the year has gone the way it's gone, I've been watching other things with acts outside of how they choose to create music.
Sure.
Like I'm watching how they conduct their business, how they engage their following. I'm watching a bunch of other stuff. But for album of the year,
This is the year of the underground hip hop album of the year.
Well,
Shine, because they
which-
cleaned up. No, I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm sorry. We're starting early.
We're going to get
Yeah.
into that, but I want to chop it in the head early. I love that happened.
Yeah.
And a lot of why
but
that
shut up
happened.
about it. Oh.
Yo, but Roddy Ricch.
No. Yeah.
But I feel
Roddy
like
Ricch was 2019.
The Box was still the number one
I know.
stream song
That's
in 2020.
That's his retort.
Yeah.
2019.
I do love that term backpack and where it came and derived from. Yeah, this was the year of the music that plays well in your crib.
Yeah.
Sorry, people that just focus on the club.
Yeah.
It wasn't your year. And
Yeah.
it shows in the best hip hop albums this year.
Yeah. Even though we flame the Grammys, it's representative, the fact that
it
Jay
shows-
Electronica and Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist and Royce are
And I
in
wasn't,
there.
I don't know if we spoke about it on the show, but I wasn't mad at the Grammys selection for rap albums of the year.
Me either.
I may not have went with D Smoke only because I wasn't locked in on D Smoke's album like that.
He made a good
But
album.
for the most part,
Just-
it still was a good album.
Yeah, it was a good album.
But
You told me it was bad, and I didn't listen to it.
Guys,
I think it
D
was
Smoke is a talented dude, and I think he's gonna have a great career. D Smoke did not deserve to get a
Agreed.
rap album of the year nomination.
Agreed.
For Grammy. And I know
I'm just saying, aside from that, I wasn't mad at the rest of the category.
I'm gonna read y'all a list of some of the albums, or most of the albums, hip hop that dropped this year. Y'all give me your thoughts
Let's go.
at the end of the list.
Let's go.
We've got Eminem, Music to Be Murdered By, Mac Miller,
Plus
Circles,
Plus Deluxe.
And the B-side.
Lil Wayne, Funeral,
Circles isn't a hip hop album.
Russ, Shake the Snow Globe, A Boogie with the Hoodie, Royce the 5'9", Lil Baby, Lil Uzi Vert, Jadakiss, Jay Electronica, Joyner Lucas, West Side Gun, The Baby, Drake, Chris Brown, Young Thug, Future, Freddie Gibbs, Run the Jewels, Pop Smoke, Juice WRLD, Logic, Nas, West Side Gun, Big Sean, Conway, The Machine, Young Boy, Never Broke Again, 21 Savage, Reason, Benny the Butcher, T.I., Ty Dolla $ign, King Von, Busta Rhymes, Gentlemen.
There's probably a lot
Chainz.
missing there.
2 Chainz, yeah.
That's cool.
Future and Lil Uzi.
That's cool. Who wants to start it off? Who wants to be bold? Are we starting at 5 or are we starting at 1?
Future and Uzi, Meg Thee Stallion, Jeezy, St. John, Juicy J, Kid Cudi.
Are we doing our 5? I don't mind
I'm ready.
popping it off.
I'm ready. You know my shit
Set it
gonna be
off.
left.
This is
so-
hip hop.
Just hip hop.
Just hip hop.
Hip hop.
No R&B.
In order, I got number 1, Freddie Gibbs, Alchemist, Alfredo. Number 2, I got Conway, From a King to a God. Number 3, I have Lil Baby, My Turn.
Not mad.
4, I have Stove God Cooks, Reasonable Drought. 5, I have Pop Smoke, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. I have a whole 10 here, but we can.
I like
start
those
with 5.
actually. We have a lot of similar ones. I had it wasn't a singular album, but the Ransom and Nicholas Craven Crime Scenes was my favorite. If you put them all together, it's an album, and that's how I'm going. I don't give a fuck. Number 2, I had Stove God. Number 3, I had Conway. Number 4, I had a tie between Freddie Gibbs and Boldy James and Alchemist albums because I like them both equally. And number 5, I don't recall what I had. I'm going off the top of my head. I think I had Bad Bunny, but that's not him.
I was going off. By the way, I wasn't mad at We Killed B Dot, but I wasn't mad at his reasons for judging. Skill, performance, presence. These
Sure.
weren't my personal favorites.
Okay.
In order.
I went personal
This
favorites.
is what I thought were the 5 best this year.
I don't care about the other shit. I went personal favorite.
I had Nas, Stove God, Conway, Freddie Gibbs, Benny, and Royce, the 5'9".
Reasonable.
That's 6, but those were my picks.
All right, Maul has my exact list.
Oh,
But Nas gets album of the year for me.
I like it.
I have Nas at 6.
With-
Yeah,
with-
Nas is on my
with-
top 10 somewhere. He was in my honorable mentions.
Without question.
As was Benny and Hit Boy.
Well,
Hit Boy had
I'll
a
read
great-
my quick 10 from there, because mentioning off that shit. Nas, King Disease, Westside Gun, Pray for Paris, Benny, Burden of Proof, Boldy James and Alchemist, Price of Tea in China, 21 Savage, Metro Boomin, Savage.
That was a great album. That was in my honorable mentions.
But your album of the year is what?
Freddie Gibbs, Alchemist.
Alfredo,
Mine's is Ransom, The Scenes.
Ransom,
Yeah.
From King to a God, Conway.
I like that.
Conway.
That was a really good album.
Yeah.
and
Juicy J was an honorable mention for me. Pop Smoke's other album, Meet the
first
Wolves 2, I believe it was
Yeah.
called, was up there. Chez Noir had a couple good albums that I would put in there. Spillington Village was one of my favorite alternative hip-hop albums. I don't know what the fuck you call that.
So-
all 6 plus Pop Smoke.
I don't know where you
Hip-hop
put
is okay.
St. John, because I was going through when I was putting my list together between hip-hop albums and R&B albums. And
Yeah.
I was like, St. John belongs on one of these lists. I
Yeah.
just don't know what list to put him on.
I had him on hip-hop, and I don't know if that's right, because I
I
don't
went-
consider him hip-hop at
I
all.
went to go look
He
on Apple.
belongs on the 070 Shake list.
That alternative. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, 7 Shake had a fucking amazing
'Cause
album,
I was-
too.
And-
that was this year?
That's one of my favorite albums to drop
That was a great
this year.
I texted Joe 2 days ago when we was trying to put this shit together. I was like, what do you consider 07 Shake's joint? Because like that was one of my favorite period of the year.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know
not
what
an R&B album.
it's
No.
not. It's an
It's
alternative.
not. Yeah.
It's the same way with Child,
St.
Synthetic
John's not
Soul. I
R&B
couldn't figure out
album
where I would put that because it's not even labeled under R&B. It's
Right.
labeled under alternative.
Right.
Feels R&B to me.
What did
It
they
has
have
R&B
Saint
elements.
labeled under?
Saint is hip hop.
Alternative?
No,
I think
rap
that-
and hip hop. That's
Really?
I went to go look
Wow.
because I was
That's
trying
not-
to put him on my list, and
It's not rapping hip-hop, but it's not rapping. Yeah, I don't know. He's in the Kid Cudi category.
I feel like, let me give you my reasons for picking Nas. Because the gentlemen that you guys named all did a phenomenal
Hip-hop,
job.
contemporary R&B.
Contemporary is a
They
hilarious.
just threw mad shit.
Yeah, he's got.
Yo, this is music.
yeah. Oh no. Yeah, that thing called music. Yeah.
I feel like Nas was under a lot more pressure to deliver.
Facts.
I feel like Nas had the most riding on this specific release.
Yeah. It's hard when you have an album that was kind of panned. Fairly or unfairly, however you want to
And you acknowledge the panning because he did acknowledge that the Kanye shit didn't go the way he thought it might go.
Mm-hmm.
But even that, to come off of doing an album with one producer as great as Kanye and it not go well and say, okay, I'm gonna try it again the way that I think it should be done and it work out flawlessly.
And not only that, someone that we don't know publicly, you have had a long relationship with. Say Nas and Preem announced the album. We go, oh, that makes sense.
Right.
To go from the Kanye shit and then, has there ever been a Nas Hit Boy song
Hip-Hop
prior
did
to that?
a couple on the Lost Tapes too, and maybe
Oh,
a
the
couple
Lost Tapes
other
too, okay.
along the line. But
Yeah, it just wasn't the pick that I would have guessed. I was never mad at it when they announced it, but I was like, I mean, I could have seen a Nas and RZA tape before I saw a Nas and Hit Boy shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
So the
to pick
pressure
somebody
of that
yeah.
too, like, all right, what are you trying to do with this? We love Hit Boy, we love Nas, but I don't know if I need this.
I think it probably took some pressure off of Nas though, because like I feel like a Nas premiere album or a Nas RZA album would have so much hype from not just their history, just from their history.
No, I think there was more
Added
pressure too because
Hit Boy was on a run. We
That was
didn't
the start
know.
of the run though.
it was the start of the run.
That was the start of the run.
He had some joints.
Oh, that,
No, he had some
that was
joints,
not the
but-
start of the run.
Yes, it was.
It
As far
solidified
as
the start.
Benny came after and Sean came after, so that was the start of the run.
Well,
As
I
far as
heard-
this
I
year,
heard
not
some
his
stuff.
career run, obviously.
Yeah.
Got it.
His 2020 shit. He had been
is
on a few joints, few
huge.
singles that were big for but that 2020 where it was like, oh, Hit Boy is the producer this year.
Yeah.
Also, this year with Nas specifically, like one of my nitpicking gripes with all of you creatives out there was, like, it's our job to change the world. Or if not change the world, at least be the voice box to speak for the world changing. So this year with so many new elements in the world, I just felt like creatively the niggas that was really good with words would have a blast. And that fell short to me this year. Like a lot of y'all did what you normally do. Not Nas, even though, yes, Nas too. Nas did what he normally does, but it was perfect. The timing of the world with what Nas does, it gave me what I needed from an MC and an album, and it was flawless to me.
I think what Nas gave us
went
was
crazy.
what what the culture always kind of knocked him for was just the production on his album.
Yeah,
Like
that's
people didn't really always like the production.
Nah, he spoke to the times.
Yeah,
And I'm looking for more rappers
Right,
to
I agree.
speak
That's
to
not
the
an unfair
times.
knock on Nas.
No, I
Not
agree
the way
with
that
that,
you're
but
forcing
that's been the knock.
Yeah, no doubt.
Not the way he was forcing the times. Like, even like.
No, not like forcing
No,
it.
I'm saying he didn't do that. Like, even when I saw the bonus track, Spicy, which ended up being one of my favorite records with Fabio and Ferg, I was like, do I need a Nas and Fabio song right now?
Right.
And
I
it was
did.
one of my favorite joints.
I did.
I think it's the
I
only
did.
song that
It's-
charted from the album.
It sounded like it was a bonus.
Yo, now
It
that I'm
sounded
thinking
like
about
the
it,
times now, but it didn't sound like Nas was hopping on some shit like, all right, who is this old guy that just showed up to the party?
Yeah.
Like, we could see your old ass in the corner creeping on the chicks over here. Leave.
Right.
It didn't feel that way at all. Like,
Facts.
he sounded fine on it.
all the niggas that I'm naming now that we think about, they're all name because I didn't name anybody. They impressed me by stepping into them even more this year. Like, Benny did him more. Stove God did him more. Royce is probably my second rapper of the year just because of how even he, in year 20 whatever of his career, seemed to step into him more. Like, found
I'm not sure what the
more
category.
control of his voice.
I'm not sure what the category is for Royce.
I think Gibbs did that better than anybody.
Nah, Royce had a very unique
Yo, how old
year.
is Gibbs? Hold on, I want to
Yeah,
reply to this. How old is Gibbs?
I feel like he's probably 30,
34?
34, 35.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't.
Then I take my point back.
Royce,
38.
Royce?
38.
Oh, okay.
Gibbs is 38.
Gibbs is fucking old like us.
But no, why I say that is your point there. Like, Gibbs has been rapping this way for over a decade.
Yeah.
Finally, I feel like Gibbs is getting into his shit as far as creating real records, knowing the producers he just wants to work with, being very comfortable in the music he's putting out. Yeah, I think Gibbs did that more than anybody coming off Bandana last year and then Alfredo into this year.
Facts.
Gibbs feels the most comfortable listening to records than I think.
I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out what category to put Royce in because lyrically he had one of the best years. His album is one of the best albums of the year. But the fact that he moved into production, producing his old album, I forgot how many songs was off of Eminem's album, but that's...
And that LA Leakers freestyle.
And the LA Leakers.
And the LA Leakers freestyle.
Yeah.
But that's why
That's a very interesting
That's why
year.
I'm happy for Royce though that this was nominated for a Grammy because he took a chance on his music.
Yeah.
He started producing a lot of his own shit.
Yeah.
And he had a vision for it. And you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's
And No Bad Meets Evil came out this year.
Listen, as someone who
There was
has
no
worked with a lot of-
relying on
Right.
anything,
Right.
anywhere.
Someone who's worked with a lot of upcoming producers and at one point was an upcoming producer myself. The fact that he just started producing and produced at the level that he did in year one is insane. So I want to just salute him. I'm not sure what category that fits in.
And I want to shout out, listen, because we talking about the best here. Our best. But there's some of y'all here that put out just good albums, and when albums are good, we have this tendency to just ignore it.
Right.
But man, this King Von album was a good, really good album for me.
It was.
I have Reasons, New Beginnings. Had it not dropped so close to the
Another
end of the
good
year,
album.
Very good
I
album.
feel like it would have made my top 5. I just can't.
Alex, pull up the list
Like,
of all the
I
albums,
need
hip-hop albums.
music to live for a little bit before I
Thank
put it in the top 5 category. That's why I feel for all the artists. Like, Reason, New Beginnings, October 9th. It's tough to put that in a category when I'm still living with it. And that's why I feel for the artists when it comes list time, even though we all hate it and it's
There was
stupid.
another album that was similar to
It's
Reasons.
tough when you put some shit out late and expect to be on lists because I haven't had a year or at least 6 months to live with it to see how it ages. But Reason, to me, that New Beginnings album deserves to be in the top 5.
Yeah.
I
Juicy
didn't
J
put it in
too was
mine
one for me.
because it was just too late for me to resonate that it had the impact that it deserved just because it hasn't been long enough. But Reason shit should have been in there all day.
Facts.
For
Juicy
me-
J was in that for me. Go ahead.
For me, no surprise here, but I definitely think that West Side Gun's Pray for Paris
All the Griselda shit was good this year.
deserves
All the Griselda shit was good.
Hot take, which I guess isn't really a hot take. My personal Pray for Paris was my favorite Griselda drop of this year. And I was the one
I'm
that
not
came
mad
in
at
here
that.
and said Burden of Proof was album of the year. I retract my statement. Pray for Paris is my personal favorite of any Griselda drop.
I'm
this
not
year.
mad at that.
It's a perfect album.
Really good album here that nobody will say because it's not hip to say it. T.I. put out a really good album.
He did.
Again.
Yeah.
He did.
Again.
He
He
definitely
did.
100%.
He did.
Sean, Detroit too. I like going back and hearing albums where I know exactly where that person is in their life, and I liked hearing like calm, peaceful Sean. I went back and listened to Detroit too after giving it some time. I identify with Sean with so much of what he's saying in this part of his life, entering into his 30s, and the peace that he's trying to find that he didn't have in his 20s. Like,
Right.
I think if you give Detroit 2 some time, I don't think Detroit 2 will get its credit this year. Or first listen, wasn't my shit.
Yeah.
That's one that you gotta let that live for 6 months, go back to it.
I gotta go back to
Sean is talking some shit on there.
I gotta go back to it.
It's a lot of music, but I don't want Detroit 2 to go under the radar or first listen. And even though I don't know what him and B-Dot's relationship is, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
And lastly on my list of just good, even though this is not the time for just good, but I'll give it to you anyway. All of 21 Savage's albums are good.
That's good. That's a good project.
They're all good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought 21 Savage
They're good.
up, because
Yeah.
before we
They're
got
all
out of
good.
hip hop, I
They're all
wanted to
good.
get into that word presence. 21 Savage this year, presence. And I don't want to bring up Chatty House and all that other shit, but
part of his presence.
seeing artists come into their own as personalities and just people within media, because rappers no longer can just rap, disappear, and come back. It's impossible if you
Right.
want to stay relevant in these times. 21 this year made his presence known not only with music, but who he was as an intellect and who he was as a person.
Yeah.
That is shown this year. He has been part of huge moments in a very positive light.
Yeah.
Like 21's presence this year, I have maybe number 1 or 2 as far as rappers that were involved in this entire year, not just with music,
Yeah.
of just being around.
The,
And in a positive way.
I'm gonna add somebody to that.
Me?
The
Sure,
baby.
don't hurt him yet.
The baby got it. We gotta mention
Don't
the
put
baby.
me yet.
he had a good year too.
Yeah, the baby is one.
Yeah.
I'm not. He didn't put out any.
We being too serious though. I'm glad you like Let's joke a
I'm
little
just
bit.
saying, like, if we're gonna talk
don't
about,
even-
if we're gonna talk about
Don't even
artists,
end the list right now with my shit.
yeah, no.
No, you was present. We wish you would have been a little less present.
Yeah, you was present.
I'm present.
No, you was present.
you here.
They
Present.
felt my presence out there.
No, the baby and St. John for me, as the other artists to mention in that presence.
I
This
didn't
year.
think you would go there.
Just looking at the list, they got him under hip hop, so let's talk about it.
So let's talk about him under Get the fuck out of here.
Listen,
You gonna
man.
talk about him everywhere, huh?
It's hip-hop.
They got him under country.
Hip hop,
So,
one of the
say
biggest
it.
records of the year.
Best country album I ever heard.
One of the biggest records
Nah,
of the year.
St. John and that presence outside of music, it was felt. If you was in LA,
Yeah, I mean, you said presence. You said the word presence. All right.
he was present.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
If you was on social media, like in the DM, like those back
Yeah.
streets,
Yeah.
back alleys of
He was present in the
Instagram,
back streets.